Here is something I know about you. A lot happened today, and not all of it was fun or exciting or even good. I know that not because I'm some kind of a mind reader, but rather because that's how it is for everyone. A lot happens for everyone every day, and not all of it is always good. The thing is, there is one catalyst that plays a big role in how you feel about things. That catalyst can turn a bad day into a good one, or a good day into a bad one. This one thing is quite literally where the sun of your life rises and sets. Learn more about that and how you can use these insights to make your life better in this talk. Keep listening to learn more. Welcome to another episode of the Better Mindset Show, a bite-sized weekly podcast show focused on empowering you to think better and upgrade your life. So let's talk about the alpha and the omega of your life. Alpha and omega. Those are not uncommon words. I have a feeling you have heard about them before, and probably heard about them a lot in different contexts. But do you know what the words alpha and omega are about, or what their origin is? They mean a whole host of things these days, but what they really are parts of the Greek alphabet. That's the original source. And those two are the first and the last letters of the Greek alphabet, alpha being the first letter and omega being the last one. It's interesting to know about that, but what's more interesting is the meaning they can represent in your own life. And when it comes to the context of your life, those two words basically stand for the beginning and the end. It can be the beginning and the end of particular things or situations or even paradigms. It's a lot like A and Z or Z. Those two are the English counterparts of those Greek letters. But A and Z don't have as much of a potent or powerful meaning or impact as the words alpha and omega do. Alpha and omega sound a lot more powerful, impactful, and potent than A and Z does. And that's pretty much all down to one thing: how we think about them. We think they sound cooler, more powerful, and more impactful, and so those words end up having more impact than the garden variety A and Z does. That both demonstrates and introduces a very important point, which is that how you think influences everything in your life. From the meaning of words to much bigger and more important and significant things, pretty much everything in your life depends on your thoughts. Your thoughts are the prime vector, the primary catalyst, and the fundamental fulcrum of your life. Think of your thoughts like the foundation of a building. Without a foundation, the building can fall down even with the smallest of tremors or even turbulence. That's because without a foundation, there won't really be anything to hold the building in place, and there won't be anything to keep it secure. A strong foundation makes the building stronger and more robust and resilient. Your thoughts act like that as well. When it comes to your life, how you think ends up affecting every big and little thing that happens both in and around you. When you have a solid, positive, and empowering foundation of thoughts, even the biggest of challenges can be easy to deal with. But having a weak, negative, and disempowering foundation will make you vulnerable to the slightest of issues. That's when even the tiniest of things can make life hard for someone. And this is why some people struggle all the time and never seem to enjoy their lives. thinking is important, and how you think impacts every single part of your life. How you think is everything. Everything. It's the alpha and the omega of your life, and the be-all and end-all. Everything big that happens in your life, and the little things, and everything in between, all of those experiences depend on your perceptions, your beliefs, and your thoughts. How you think is the prime vector of your life, the most important part. It is the most significant catalyst of everything good that happens, has happened, and will happen in your life. Just your thoughts alone have the power to make your life better or worse. All at the flip of this one simple mental switch. Just your thoughts alone can make or break your life and can turn even the worst of days into the best of days. Your thoughts can define your reality, quite literally. This is why it's smart to pay attention to what's going on in between your two ears. This is why it is important to assess, analyze, and evaluate the things you say to yourself, your beliefs, and your perceptions. And this is also why it is absolutely crucial to think before you act. Because your thoughts alone can, single-handedly, make your life better or terrible. Exercising your thought muscles regularly is essential, because how you think impacts every single part of your life. Whatever criteria you use or you have for a good life, and whatever your definition of success and fulfillment is, none of it will go far if self-awareness, thinking things through, and checking up on how and what you think isn't part of your process. Because even though thinking well will take you far, if the opposite is part of your psyche, then even the best plan in the world won't get you far. Operating your life with bad, unhelpful, and faulty thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions is like going on a boat trip on the river with a boat that has a hole in it. You might be able to go some distance, but based on the size of the hole, your trip will come to a halt at some point or another. And if the hole is not fixed, then you will have much bigger problems on your hands than just a ruined trip. Living your life with a faulty, unhelpful, or negative state of mind will be like coasting the river on a boat with a hole. The more of the faulty thoughts, notions, and beliefs you have, the harder things will be for you. It's really that simple. Thinking is important, and how you think impacts every single part of your life. The equation for a good life is incomplete unless thinking is a part of it. But surprisingly, far too often people don't pay much attention to this facet of their lives at all. Most people live their lives on autopilot mode about 80 to 90% of the time, if not more. Not having to think about every single part of your life is a good thing. Our autopilot mode is an incredibly useful part of our lives, because if we had to actively think about every single part of our lives, it would get mind-numbingly overwhelming real fast. Based on research, the average person makes around 35,000 decisions every day. 35,000 decisions every day. That is a ridiculously large number of decisions. And if we had to think about every one of them actively, life would be incredibly hard. That's where our autopilot mode becomes extremely handy, because it makes the lion's share of those decisions for us, without us ever needing to get actively involved. Decisions like breathing and moving out of the way of cars and so on. Think about this like hiring people to help with a business. Do you know what the owner of a business does? For the smart ones anyway, the biggest job isn't doing every single little thing, but rather their biggest role is to check in from time to time to make sure that things are working as they're supposed to work. And more importantly, to make the executive decisions. Even if the business in question is completely automated, it will still need the head honcho to step in and make the important decisions themselves, rather than letting them be made for them. That's the most important role of a CEO. Making the important decisions. That's pretty much what a CEO's main function boils down to, and delegating the most important or influential or impactful decisions to others, or even automating them, isn't generally the best idea. Because the CEO needs to make those important decisions themselves, if they are a good CEO, that is. This is how the president, chancellor, or prime minister of a country works as well. They don't manage each and every facet of running the country. The lion's share of those roles and functions and decisions will actually be delegated to others, and a lot of them may even be automated, based on how technologically advanced the country is. That said, there will be some decisions, a small percentage of everything that goes on, that will involve the president directly. They won't have the time, capacity, or energy to deal with each and every one of the thousands of things that need to be handled in order to run the country well. That what they absolutely need to do is tackle the important issues directly. Just like the CEO of a successful business or even the president of a powerful country, you also need to play an active role where your own psyche, behaviors, and actions are concerned. You can do what most people do and leave pretty much all of the thinking to your autopilot mode, but that will generally create more problems than it will solve. Because even though our autopilot mode is great for a lot of things, like our day-to-day biological functions, it isn't great at everything. Like how it prioritizes fear over opportunity. Our autopilot mode is essential for lots of things, but not for everything. There are times when you need to make the executive decisions, and that's why it's important for you to exercise your thinking muscle, assess your thoughts, think things through, and think before you act. Thinking for yourself is important, and how you think impacts every single part of your life. Every time you see a person who regrets how their lives play out, you will find that their internal psychological mechanism played a key role in how badly things turned out. More often than not, what you'll find is that faulty thinking is at the root of their regrets. Faulty thinking is the key to a difficult life. I can give you hundreds and even thousands of examples of how things get harder when you don't think well. But all it boils down to is the fact that thinking well makes your life easier and better, whereas thinking badly or not thinking things through makes life harder and more painful. Good thinking gets you good results, whereas bad thinking gets you bad results. I'll repeat that. Good thinking gets you good results, whereas bad thinking gets you bad results. How you think matters more than you will ever know. So it is smart and crucially important for you to play an active role in your psyche. Don't just blindly go along with every single thought that crops up in your head, because not every one of them will be accurate or helpful. Work on your psyche. Pay attention to how and what you think and actively work on your thoughts. Make it a point to think for yourself, think things through, and think better. Because how you think is everything. And that brings us to the end of this talk. If you have any questions, post them on the Facebook page or the comments section. I hope you found this talk useful. If you did, do me a favor and share it with at least 2 people via your social media and email, because that way it can help others as well. Pay it forward. Help me help others. I'll catch you again next time. Until then, keep thinking for yourself, keep thinking smart, and keep thinking better to improve your life.